Just wanted to
Oh,
Yes, this is
thank you.
Angela, this is a perfect time for you to commit. I'm not assuming you haven't committed to this, but commit to it is about God, family, and then business. We are not supposed to give our family the appointment slots that we worked really hard all day to fill, yet just couldn't fill. That's not the way this works. It should go the exact opposite. You fill in your calendar with all the things that bring you fulfillment, right? Hobbies, church, rest time, what family, all that stuff. And then you fit in your real estate stuff. And then you just confirm that the income that you can make from your real estate endeavors, it can support your lifestyle. So you will be challenged. We will all be challenged. But just remember that it's not about slinging homes 24/7. But yeah, Melissa, I feel like we could probably start off every single meeting discussing your commitment. And I just love the kid over your shoulder and you're like this. It just makes me so happy. So appreciate you bringing that back up. So I want to share a thought with you guys before I'm going to get kind of emotional and vulnerable for a second. I don't know if you guys saw the news this morning or late last night by chance, but one of the icons of Keller Williams just passed away, Dave Jinks. So Dave Jinks was a co-author of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, The Millionaire Real Estate Investor, and Shift. He was a executive vice president, one of the big top guys at Century 21 for many years. In the early 90s, he was brought into Keller Williams, hand selected by Mo and Gary to run their university division. And he has, many of us have gotten an opportunity to spend some time with him through his relationship with Andy and coming to some of the Facebook Lives. And forever, I've had the Dave Jinks Why List With Me video on the weekly emails. And I just want to say this is, I don't think there's been a single day since I joined Keller Williams, which was like almost 11 years ago, that I haven't thought about one of the concepts in the material that he wrote, or I haven't taught one of those concepts, or I haven't coached or consulted on one of those concepts. I've had the privilege to sit with him on the Keller Williams International Profit Share Task Force for the last 6 months or so, year or so. And the man just speaks with an incredible amount of conviction. And you know, he's been a mentor to me, and he's been a mentor to there's some weird echo. He's been a mentor to me, and he's also been a mentor to many of my mentors. And I just want to remind everyone that man, life is fragile sometimes, and just thank the people that are having an impact on you. And you know, it's just man, Keller Williams would not be where they are today, not even remotely close, without Dave Jinks. My career trajectory has been affected by him and his writings, and I'm very grateful for that. And I just want to take a moment to use this platform to share his a bit of his legacy. And I'm just proud to be where I am, and it's in part because of his influence. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Don't forget to tell people you love them. Okay. Okay. Quick piece of housekeeping. I will be out tomorrow. So the morning huddle will be in Candace's room and Candace's Zoom room. And the topic for tomorrow is, or Candace, what is the topic for tomorrow? I know Kern's coming in, right?
So, and I've got a handout for everybody. I'll post in the PC announcements today. She's going to go through the purchase and sale agreement and how to explain it in layman's terms and the key highlights that we should know. Great. So, Candace, thank you very much for setting that up. The morning huddle tomorrow will be 8:30 in Candace's room, and we'll be back in my room on Friday. Let me see. Don't forget to look at the email that Aubrey sent out last night with just a recap of the slide deck from the team meeting. There's just a ton of resources in there with links for
Knock and Homeward and Ribbon and all those tools that can help you as you're building your business, as well as a bunch of upcoming important classes. I'm doing next, not tomorrow, but the week after tomorrow, or a week from tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a session for the Social Equity Group Task Force for the region on profit share. So all the links and stuff, that's free. You can, hopefully you guys can join that. So without further ado, Candace, you're in charge today, right?
Yes, thank you. And
right,
I would like to say,
let me give you permission to share the screen.
okay.
And the floor is yours.
Thank you. And I'd just like to say we've got some awesome classes coming up, the Convert to Appointments and pre-listing with Dustin Kimberly's coming up. Andy Peters has a class this Friday. When Andy, Bill, or Dustin teach a class, I go. Let's just put it that way. So if you can get to those classes, go.
One thing before you go, I spent the morning listening to Dave Jenks just to kind of remember his voice a little bit, right? And he always, like, one of the first things out of his mouth anytime he starts a class is just the importance of being learning based.
Yeah.
Right. And through learning, you get confidence. Through confidence, you get relationships. Through relationships, you get the quality of life that you're seeking. Right.
Well said. Well said. Yeah.
All right.
Well, good morning, everybody.
I'm going to put myself on mute so I don't interrupt you as much as I did last.
Good morning. Please, when you always add something valuable, so please. So this morning, we're going to talk about, I like hacks. Everybody knows I like hacks. Let's do one action that does multiple things. So this morning, we're going to create a SMART plan, and you can follow along with me. It's actually 4 SMART plans in one. And this is from the Regional Labs Command class with Patrick Malden that I took recently. So I'm going to share my screen here, and let's see if I get to the right one. And I'll post this in the WhatsApp as well. So can everybody see this 36 touch SMART plan? Okay, so if you want to follow along, you can actually create your SMART plan right now. So this includes a trigger that we're going to use a tag to trigger the SMART plan, and it includes the biweekly neighborhood nurture, the quarterly build. This is going to be a short class because there's like 15 steps. It's easy. The quarterly call plan, the birthday anniversary, and the home anniversary. Now, there's a couple of things. On the birthday anniversary, if you don't have the birthday anniversary, the SMART plan will go forward. It just will fail on the birthday. Also, in our command, and I want to go to command as well. Let me do that as quickly. In our command, when you put in a birthday, let me go to myself. When you put in a birthday, it'll ask for the year. Don't worry about that. Just put in your birth year, was the tip that he gave us. So let me go to.
Just a quick piece of advice. LinkedIn gives birthdays, Facebook gives birthdays.
Exactly. Thank you.
If you've ever done a deal with them and they've been they've been a borrower or a buyer with a loan, you can track down their birthday through that. If you like, let's say I've done 20 deals with Kathy, I can say, hey, I'm trying to get birthdays on these 20 people. Can you send them to me, please? She'd be more than happy to do something like that. And the other way to do it is just to call and ask. Hey, one of the things that I want to do this year is get serious about, reaching out to people on their birthdays. And I was just curious, what is your birthday?
I love that. Thank you. Let's see.
Candace, you just put in the year?
No, you put in the birthday, but I'm saying if you don't know the year that they're born, just put in your birth year. Doesn't matter.
Oh, I got you now. I was confused. I was like, what?
Sorry.
It will let you enter a birthday without putting in a year.
Okay, thank you. I'm just repeating what I heard in the class. So
the other thing, just a home anniversary, just to define that term, is the date in which they closed, right? So for example, if somebody buys a home on the 15th of September, next year they'll get a note that says, hey, congratulations, you've been in your home for 1 year. Just thinking about you, wanted to make sure you knew that. And if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know, right?
Yeah. And you can if you didn't sell them the home, you can find their home anniversary in Realist 9 times out of 10.
That's correct.
So, okay, so if you're in your command, and that's agent.kw.com, the very first thing you're going to do is we're going to create the trigger. So we go up to the profile up at the right where your picture is, and you go to settings. And then on the left, you're going to see a list of drop downs, and you're going to go to command settings. And then you're going to go to contacts, and you're going to go to contact tags. And then you're going to go over here to the right and you'll create a tag. Is anybody following along and needs me to go more slowly?
I'm following, but I'm keeping up.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
Yeah, it's being recorded, so if you need to go back later and you know, slow it down, stop and start it, we'll have that in place for you.
So we're going to create a tag here, and the tag name, the one that Patrick uses is complete, and that just means that he's got their home anniversary and their birthday as well. And he likes to tag it in black. So I've already created mine, but you can create yours here. You could call it 36 touch. You could call it 4 smart plans. You could call it whatever you want, but complete seems to be easy. So you can see I've already created mine, so I'm not going to recreate it.
So when you say complete, does that mean that particular contact file has all the information necessary to have the smart plan play out?
Exactly.
Okay, so then you can sort by the people that are not complete, for example, and that could become your call list for the day.
Excellent. Excellent advice. So, okay, so you create your tag here. You're going to click create. You're going to color code it if you want to. And then you're going to see in mine, I have one that says complete. Okay, and let's see. Now you want to go to the next thing we want to do is if you click on the red KW up here, the icons open up with what they are. So we want to go next to smart plans. Come on. And we're going to go to the library up here. And I'm going to type in 36 touch support. Oops. And there it is. And it will say, the one that Patrick created is AYL 36 touch support, and it includes 4 smart plans. And I wanted to say, if you borrow smart plans from the library, be sure and test them on yourself first. Create a contact with you as a test and assign that smart plan to you, because what happens in some cases is if an agent creates it, it's got their contact information in it. So you might be sending an email to your whole database that has someone else's contact information in it. So just be careful of that if you are going to use some of the smart plans from the library. This one is generic, so it won't have anybody. It's not branded to anybody. So anyway, I'm going to add the smart plan here. And now you may see download, 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 download. Just click on download wherever you see it. And then at the bottom, click download again. I already have a smart plan, it's saying. Okay. And now I'm going to go to my smart plans. And I can see right here, that's where it is, my AYL 36 touch support. I want to go to edit. And I have to take off, but you should see something here that says add trigger event. Does everybody see that who's following along? Mine already has it attached, so I've already created I guess I could do it again. Add new contact, contact tag, select tag. I would go here and just select complete when I find it. Well, it's already up there, so it's not coming up. But anyway, so you're gonna add new, and you'll go down and you'll select that tag you created that says complete. And now what happens is when you add complete to any of your contacts, it will trigger this smart plan. So easy breezy. Now I want to say one more thing, and again, this is going to be a short class because it's really easy. But when you what I want to caution you against is don't add 50 people to this smart plan all at once, because what will happen is for the quarterly call plan, you'll get a task on the same day to call 50 people. So you want to make sure that you're maybe doing 5, 10 a day, whatever's manageable for you, and then get through your database. And I love what Bill said about sorting. once you've taken a month or so to assign the smart plan to everyone that you have complete information for, you can sort and go back and make sure that you're calling the people that you don't have information on, and contact them.
So
Hey,
go ahead, Greta.
as I look at this, wouldn't it make sense to follow the DTD2 and add those contacts per week
I
that
love
you're
that.
contacting anyway?
Great idea. I love that idea. And then as you contact them, add the complete trigger or the complete tag to them, and it
Yeah.
triggers the smart plan.
So can you walk us through, can you show us what the touch points are?
Mhm.
So you helped us understand how to tag a client file that would ultimately trigger the smart plan, but then show us how the reminders would function and what the actual touches are.
So here it's a link to the birthday on day one, and then there's a 1-day delay. There's the quarterly call plan is added then the next day, and then there's a delay of 1 day. The link to the birthday. I'm not sure what BWNN is, to be honest, but link to the birthday. Then there's a 1-day delay. Then link to the smart plan, and this is the home anniversary. And of course, it's the home anniversary is going to come up whatever day their home anniversary is. Their birthday is going to come up whatever day their birthday is. It's not going to just be on day 3 and 4, right? Or 3 and 5.
So by that time, after let's say 3 or 4 days, it's got an auto alert or an auto push when the birthday happens. It's got an auto push when the home anniversary happens. And then it's got an auto push for every 2 weeks for them to get a neighborhood nurture, right?
Exactly.
And then it's got an auto push to remind you when to call that particular person.
Exactly.
So,
And so
the whole thing works only if you actually open it, right?
Yeah.
This should be kind of like one of the screens you're looking at, or this is kind of a ritual that when you sit down at your workspace, you open up command and see what the system is telling you to do that day.
and it's if I go to my drive, the daily success tracker is in the drive. Oh, that's my calendar. Whoops. I love that on the daily success tracker, it has the very first thing is open command.
Right.
So here it is.
By the
Can I
way,
ask
this is
a
a
question?
Word doc, so you can download it, pull it off of the drive. Right? Don't pull the only copy off, but download it, pull it off the drive, and then you can edit it however you want. So if you see this like open command, review your goals, social media activity, you could put, call mom, walk the dog, go to the gym, whatever you do every day. This is just a physical reminder of it.
And so what you'll want to do when you open command is you'll want to come in here to your tasks. I set myself up on this because I wanted to see how it worked, and it hasn't created any tasks for me yet. So, but this is where you would see what you need to do.
I have a question.
And I hope I can answer it.
I'm sorry to be this way. I added the contact trigger. I see the add new, and then it's got number 1, the biweekly, number 2, 1 day, quarterly plan, delay a day, my birthday, delay a day. Well, I don't see the steps you were talking about. Or I'm confused.
You mean to add the start, you mean the steps to get the trigger attached to the smart plan?
Well, I know all I
Like the
have to do
breakdown
is,
of when the
Like-
activity
Oh,
will happen. As
yeah,
a-
like you showed those,
Okay.
and my screen looks different, and I'm not sure where you had
If I
that.
click on smart plans,
So I'm in actually, okay. I have to save it once I add, I'm confused. I added the thing, I guess I'm saving it.
yeah, so when you open up smart plans, this icon right here, you should
Yeah.
see that my AYL 36 touch support.
Right?
And if you click on it, or how did I do that?
Yeah, click that thing.
It's
Or the
taking
arrow.
there we
There you
go. Click the arrow, and that's where I see where everything happens.
Now, but
Okay.
the other thing is you can, where it says link to QPC, for example, you can go down and then go a little further up. I mean, no, yeah. And then you can click on the birthday home anniversary or birthday, and you can see what the communication points are for that.
I got it. That makes sense to me now. So it's really, I see what you're saying. It's the one with the 4 right below it embedded in it, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, in all reality, the birthday and the home anniversary plans, I mean, I think they just add the day in there just to kind of not confuse the system, but there's
Yeah.
probably not that much of a reason to have the day delay in there. But the other thing that this presupposes, guys, is you actually know where all these people live, right?
And it,
Yeah.
And then my other suggestion would be, don't just put them on the system. Have a conversation with them and let them know that you're putting them on the system, and let them know that this is how to navigate it. And if you have any questions, let me know. And hey, we've got a really interesting market going on right now. So if you have any questions about, values or refinancing or, days on the market or values or any of that kind of stuff, let me know, because you're going to see some wild things. Actually heard, this is totally off topic, but I watched this guy do a TikTok last night, and I've never actually thought about this, but he was saying that Zillow, he didn't name Zillow, but he was clearly referring to Zillow. They have all this data that shows the zip codes that people are searching from and the zip codes that people are searching for, right? So they could say, hey, we have an unusual amount of people that whose computers are in Dunwoody, yet are searching for homes in Johns Creek, right? Or gosh, there seems to be a trend with people moving from Roswell to Key West or whatever, right? Then because they know the popularity of these zip codes, now they're buying homes. So now they can go buy up a bunch of homes in that particular zip code because they know that there's a strong demand for it. And they'll, they then create the market. So they go buy a bunch of homes that are 300, let's say, and they go buy 30 homes in that zip code that are $300,000. Then they come in as if no one's paying attention and go buy a home for 350 and way overpay for it. But now they're the ones that have now pushed the market. And the beneficiary of the pushed market is them, right? So they might have lost a couple thousand on all of these particular homes, but they just 10x their profits because they can control the market. Y'all see that?
That's frightening.
It is frightening. But let me tell you something.
Yeah, I was going to say that's pretty mind-blowing / frightening.
It's not going away. It's not going away. Okay. And I don't mean to steal your show, but I'm going to just finish one more thought on this.
my show's finished.
Okay. So let me give you one more thought on this. Zillow also just changed. Well, they did this a little while ago, probably about a year ago, but they used to sell exposures by zip code, right? So if I wanted 30076, then based on how many clicks there were for 30076, Zillow could create a pricing model on how they would charge me as a real estate agent for those exposures, right? And then when somebody clicked on, when they search for that zip code, you see that they used to do this. They have a couple pictures of the agents on the right-hand side. Those are not like the best agents. Those are the agents that paid for that exposure, right? So don't fool yourself. The problem with that model is they didn't have control over the data, because they would get the money from the real estate agent for the exposure, but then the real estate agent would take that person off of Zillow's platform and do the whole transaction off the platform. So therefore they didn't understand, they didn't see any of the contract stuff, right? Then they changed their model and said, we're going to give you the, first of all, they're only working with big teams right now because they're the only people that can afford their inflated fees, right? So now what they do is they say, we'll give you access to the lead and you just pay us on the back end. But in order to keep you honest, you're going to do all the stuff on our contracts and on our platform. So we know when the deal closes, we can make sure we're getting paid. But that's not all. Now they can analyze all of that data. Then they're going to bribe you by working with Zillow Mortgage. Then they're going to bribe you again by working with Zillow's closing department or whatever, so that they can have all that data. So they know that, let's say, if somebody buys a 4-bedroom home when they're 32 years old in Dunwoody, based on the crunching of all this huge data and artificial intelligence and all that, the best likelihood of that person moving again will be in approximately 6 years, 3 months, and 2 weeks. And the highest percentage of the place they go is Johns Creek, and they buy in the 5s. So prior to that time, we'll start pushing them homes in Johns Creek in the 5s. And so all these times that a real estate agent like Candace and myself and a handful of agents that have been in the business forever, and a lot of our value comes from the touch points along the way. The touch points are now being done by the computer, right? Now they also know your mortgage details, right? They know how much you put down. They know the values, supposedly, right? They know what interest rate you locked in. So at any time, they can set up an algorithm that says, oh, looks like Candace would save money by refinancing. Click here. So now the value point of refinancing is not delivered by the real estate agent, it's delivered by the computer. You follow what I'm saying? It's probably worse than that, actually. So everything that they're doing, they're analyzing the data so that they can use it for their own benefit. They're not your friend. Okay? They're not your friend. And then once they have market share through ownership of homes, through their agents and their brokerage, they're going to change the way real estate is done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on what I just said? Is that, like, you guys understand that every business is about AI and big data right now, right?
Yeah. So my question is, I'm glad I'm with Keller Williams because I feel like when they know that, they're going to be doing similar things.
Well, what's interesting, and I don't think they probably had any idea what they were doing almost 40 years ago, but because we have our profit sharing system, and because we have to maintain integrity within our profit sharing system, we have records of 40 years of real estate transactions from every real estate transaction that has ever been done under the Keller Williams umbrella. So we then have access, and we have the biggest sales force in the world by far. So then you take all that data together and we become the person that delivers the insights, right? But you're only going to get the privilege of delivering the insights to your people if they know that the better valuable information comes through you, not some algorithm.
Right. And that's the difference.
So Gary talks about building a moat around your business. You have to keep your people in your world. Okay. Now there's so many people out there, we don't need to think from a scarcity mindset, but like the people in my database are the people you guys could be cold calling today, right? I'll just give you an example of how crazy this is. I don't know the data from last year, but 2 years ago, there was about 5.8 million residential sales in America. 5.8 million. Do you know how many leads Zillow sold that year?
It was like twice as many or something, wasn't it?
Way more than that. 185 million. So they're basically just selling each other's database to the next guy. But it's all about lead capture and information capture, right? You guys ever heard of a loss leader? Do you know what that means? It's like the Costco hot dogs.
Yeah.
Right? They're like 99 cents. And you're like, oh, well, if I go get a 99 cent, hot dog, I'll go spend $300 at Costco. Right? The loss leader in the real estate business could be the mortgage. Right? Or it could be the commission. Right? Because there's so much value in the data. So I was listening to Dave Jenks this morning, and somebody had come to him at one time and say, hey, real estate is so easy. It's not like it's rocket science. And Dave and Gary said, yes, it is rocket science. This business it's all about confidence and knowledge and skill and presentation and all these things. If you're not focused every single day on making sure that you have the knowledge and the skill and the confidence to deliver this data and to deliver whatever value your people need, they're going to go get it online somewhere. And the person that you thought was a lock and was going to stay in your database forever, they're being courted by 40,000 real estate agents every day. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to scare you guys, but you can't sit on the couch and expect nothing to change. All right, what's on your mind right now?
Madonna.
What's that mean?
That means I'm not endorsing Madonna, but I can say that she has reinvented herself numerous times, and that's who we need to be in this industry.
Hey, you got to be nimble.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say I'm not so much like scared per se. It's just, preparing ourselves, for shifts and just changing.
Right. And you know how there's basically two ways to prepare yourself for a shift. You guys know what those two ways are? Knowledge and money. Right? You got a stack of money, you're going to be better prepared to brave any big changes that happen. You got a bunch of knowledge and you got a big database to share it with, then you've got the potential to continue to grow your business. If your database is unorganized or it doesn't exist, and every once in a while you get really excited about real estate and you make a couple calls and then you die off for a month or two, you're going to get eaten alive. I don't mean to scare you guys. Okay, sorry to get you on that was my little soapbox for the day. I appreciate y'all listening. What other questions do we have about the 36 touch or about smart plans?
I have a quick question about this 36 touch that you just told us about. When you go in, because you had to download, the My Birthday and the My Home Anniversary part to be part of this big thing, right?
It's already embedded in it, so you don't have to do that separately.
Right, but when I look at what's in the My Birthday touch part, like in that plan,
Mhm.
I don't understand. It says, it basically, this isn't automating anything, it's just telling you to do things, right? Like it's not sending them a note. Like it looks like it says that initially it will tell you to send them a note, and then 4 days later it tells you to call them, and then a day later it tells you to text them. But like, when's the birthday? Like if he tells you to send the note on their birthday, then you're too late. And why are you calling them a week after their birthday? Like
I will find that out, Ryan. That's something I don't know exactly. But I would say that it probably prompts you to call them on their birthday, and the note goes out a little bit before, but I'll just double check that and find out.
So I think there's a difference between like a part of a smart plan that is like the action is automated, and then there's a different kind of side of it, so to speak, that is a prompt to do an action. So if the text is a part of the smart plan, then you can automate the text by pre-writing it and setting it up in Twilio and all that. If it's a call as part of the smart plan, then it's going to prompt you to make a call. If an email is part of the smart plan, it's going to automatically send the email. That's why it's important to test all that stuff. The other thing, again, you got to make sure that they know that this is happening, so they don't just treat it like it's junk mail.
And if you're
but that's what I'm just trying to understand. Like it doesn't clarify when it's sent.
So Ryan, what I would do is I would put your birthday in, put you in as a test, put your birthday in. You can make up your own birthday, put your birthday in as 9/20 and see what happens.
I think you could also do you could set up a system where, let's say your birthday was 9/20 and it didn't alert you on 9/20 to make the call, it alerted you on 9/15 to make the call.
Mm-hmm.
But then it told you
Right.
the birthday was on 9/20.
No,
Right?
I don't see where it says to do that. Like if you could change the date, like it's actually, and I'm just wondering, just like, wouldn't that be overkill if you sent someone a card and you called them and you posted on their social media and you text them?
Are you kidding me? I celebrate my birthday all month long, and anybody's welcome to say anything at any time on any day.
No, but if the same person says it 6 times, like I don't even say that to my mom that much. Like that's a lot of happy birthday to one person,
Well, pick the way you want to communicate that message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think you can edit out steps.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't like them. And then I also, I'm looking on here. You got the triggers a manual add is on this My Birthday thing. So yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I know Leanne's is in today. I'm going to ask her about this.
Thank you.
Okay,
I was
that'd
going
be
to
great.
suggest that.
And then also, I'm struggling. Someone help me feel better about it. I don't like Twilio. And is there a way to edit out the Twilio? I'm going to find that out because I don't like it coming from someone else's number. I'm never going to be comfortable with that. And there's not a thing you can do to ever make me feel good about that.
Yep.
And so I end up,
So the first thing I would do is go onto the KW Command Facebook page
mhm.
and ask that exact question.
Okay, great.
You got
Yeah.
30-something thousand KW agents on there that are all nerding out on all this stuff, and they've probably figured out a workaround.
Okay, great.
So Greta, I'm
Yeah.
gonna share my screen again right quick.
Mhm.
Let me pull this down here. Okay, can you see I'm in Command? You can see Command Smart Plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I did was I went up here, I went to settings,
Mhm.
and now I'm in my personal Command account. I see here that my Gmail is not connected, but I could potentially send emails from here, is what I'm guessing. So that's a question I think Leanza can probably do. And then I would just disconnect Twilio.
Yeah, I don't think I ever connected Twilio.
So if it was me and you couldn't find any other solution,
Mhm.
what I would probably do is this is actually I'm going to back up for 1 second and we've talked about this privately, Greta, but I'm going to make a recommendation to everyone on this. Take a look at your database and try to identify the VIPs. Okay, who are the people that go out of their way to be friendly and are social and are happy to support your business? Maybe they show signs of being a VIP because they connect you with other people, they introduce you to other people, right? They're just happy people and they're social and they're well connected, right? If you can create a list of, I don't know, let's say 20, 25, 30 of those people, then you could just have a person that you text every day. Hey, Joe, I was just thinking about you today. Just wanted to say hello, pass by your neighborhood. I hope all is well. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you, right? And maybe it's not automated, but it's more intentional and it's more personalized. And I think that'll go a lot farther than sending out some text message that says Happy Easter or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's not like, it doesn't even say like, hi, Greta, Happy Easter. Although I think you can set that up.
Yeah, so two questions for Leanza is can we edit the birthday plan or to be a little bit more reflective of how we want it to be and how many touches we want to give? And then Greta, to your point, how to disconnect Twilio.
Just to continue on that VIP topic for a second, guys, what if, because we can kind of merge this with the discussion we were having about Zillow a second ago. What if you had 25 people that you just wined and dined and spent time with and had dinner with and had cocktails with and invited to coffee and breakfast and all this kind of stuff, and you really, really invested some time with these 25 people? Now, the stats say that each person's going to know between 6 and 7 people that are going to move each year. What if you just had a straight up conversation with them and said, hey, there's a good likelihood, when appropriate, there's a good likelihood that you're going to know of 6 to 7 families that are going to move this year. And you can kind of throw in a little humor, which might say, well, I'd like you to introduce me to every one of them. I'm just hopeful that you can introduce me to one of them. Right? And what if you got one piece of warm business from each of your 25 VIPs each year? You would never have to worry about Zillow again. You would never need to make a cold call again. Right? You'd never have to go to a part of town that you don't want to work in or you don't know anything about, pretending like you do so that you can get paid because you ain't got any other prospects.
Bill, I so agree with you. I feel like in the digital world that we live in, the one thing that we're missing or we're starting to miss is connection. And people need that and they want that. And as long as you can keep going with that and give somebody your authentic self, that will take you a whole lot further than just being so analytical and database, just data driven. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Well,
it works. Be who you are.
You use the data to deliver a more personalized experience for each of your people. That's the purpose of data, right? So if you know they're a Bulldogs fan, instead of, okay, this is a perfect example. So Angela's going to have a baby in the next week or so, right? She's, every time I've talked to her, she's had a UGA hat on. So it's very clear she's a bulldog, right? Now, let's say if she was in my database and she was one of my VIPs. Baby comes, I could send her, you know, a like on her Facebook, which is about as disconnected as possible, right? Or I could send her a onesie for her kid. But you know what would be even cooler? If I sent her a UGA onesie, right? So how can you personalize and make those experiences more personalized with the, because you have a certain amount of data, because you've asked a lot of questions and you're in good relationship with these people, right? So you guys know Simon Sinek. He's the guy that wrote Start With Why. He's done plenty of interviews, and one of the things he said, in the digital age, and this is very much the case with millennials, is the things that they want are purpose and community, right? So what is the purpose of your business, and how are you sharing that? And what is so special about being in your community, right? What are the privileges of being in your database, Ebony? You see what I'm saying? So if you can create community around your business where the purpose of the business is very clear and obvious, then when those people have real estate questions, they don't go to Zillow, they go to you, right?
I completely agree.
Okay. Now, if you combine that with, let's say I had 30 VIPs and I just took one of them, I had coffee, I have coffee every day. So what if I just woke up a little earlier and took each one of them to coffee every day? Or not each one of them every day, but one Monday, one Tuesday, one Wednesday. Spent most of the time talking about them and what's important to them and their family. And each one of them sent me one piece of business, which is way less than it's probably going to happen each year. I mean, we're talking about $300,000-$400,000 incomes, guys, maybe more. Right? You don't have to compete the way everyone else is competing. All right, who hasn't spoken that wants to say something today? Or if you've spoken, you can say something too. Angela, post your address so that everyone can send you a UGA onesie, okay?
I was gonna say you're gonna get a lot of UGA's onesies after this.
Go dogs. But on a completely other note, I wanted to give a shout out to you, Bill and Candace, because the PC resource list, that purchase, and I'm making sure I'm saying the right video because I'm probably going to be giving baby like one of your top viewers on that YouTube page. But the part 2 of the purchase and sales agreement video is probably one of the most helpful videos I've seen of all time. Like,
thank you.
One of my biggest struggles was like, okay, here's the document I need to fill out, but like, how do I do this in Command? And the fact that y'all did it like step by step, so helpful. So big kudos to y'all, and thank you so much for being so detailed with that.
Thank you. It's one thing to know how to fill it out. It's another thing to know how to share it or to explain it to your people. And then it's another thing to deal with the technology that's involved, right? So it all goes back to what I've said forever, which is every day you should be getting smarter and building your network, getting smarter and building your network. You do that every day, man, you're gonna kill this business. Okay, anyone, any closing thoughts, Candace?
We've
I
got
asked
some
a
great,
quick question. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I just want to ask a quick question that's not on topic, but just, I don't know the answer because these.
We've been off topic all day, no worries.
These industry events that for the Atlanta realtors and whatever, does anyone go to those? Like, they keep sending me like the chili cook-off thing and the, some social, I don't know, luncheon, are those like something that we should be looking at, or are they just not? I'm just curious because I don't know. Or does anyone go to that?
I have never been to a single realtor function
Okay.
like that. I'm not saying there's no value in it. If I'm going to be social, it's going to be with y'all. It's not going to be with a bunch of strangers.
But I will say, where I think you were going there, so you go ahead.
Me?
Yeah. I will say it's
it could be a recruiting opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, you're building relationships. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I would say that is 80% work, not 20% work.
have a question
the other
about
thing I
that.
was thinking when Candace was describing that borrowing the 36 touch or borrowing the smart plans, what if you Googled the guy or the woman's name who created the smart plan and called them and said, hey, I just want to thank you for spending a couple minutes putting this together. I've decided to use it in my business, and I'm so glad that you took a couple minutes to put it together and share it with everyone. I just wanted to express my gratitude, right? Are you open to taking new clients if I happen to know anyone that's moving to, fill in the blank, Baltimore or whatever? Wow, nobody's ever called me to thank me for putting this piece of value out into the world. Where do you work? I work in Roswell, which is a north suburb of Atlanta. You happen to know anyone that do you have a relationship with any realtor in Atlanta? No. Wonderful. Well, we should be friends. You see what I'm saying? It's not like it's not hard to do. It's just thinking of ways that you can surprise and delight or do something slightly unusual that no one else is doing. Ebony, what were you going to say?
So just back to the when she was asking questions about does anybody attend those events, I kind of feel that that's a great way to grow your network of agents, because even though they may not be with Keller Williams, it feels good to be able to pick up the phone regardless of who they're with, if they have a property and you need it, and kind of just like put yourself out there the same way that you told us to do. It's just like, hey, when you call an agent, they know who Bill Linkwall is and they want to work with you. So I think even with going to those events, of course, not all of them, but it just helps you build your name in Atlanta, because everybody is not a Keller Williams agent. I want to work with Keller Williams agents, EXP agents, Sotheby's agents, whoever they are. So if you're looking at it from that standpoint, it can only just help you on that end, because you never know who's at the other end of a transaction.
I want to rephrase what I said, because I completely agree with what you're saying. I don't tend to be like overwhelmingly social. So that's kind of my first instinct. But here's my word of caution. You can't pay your bills with the number of people that you have in your agent database. Just make sure you're taking care of your business, and you got a heavy pipeline and you got a steady stream of incoming leads, right? Make sure you put the mask on yourself before you help your friend, right? Like, that's fun. And yes, it has some potential way to help you in your business. But keep in mind, you're probably not going to get any referrals from that group. And you want to make sure that you got a pretty healthy business at the same time. I know that sounds a little off, but do y'all hear what I'm saying? Ebony, does that make sense? Oh, I pissed her off.
Sorry, I'm driving. But yes, it does make sense. Like, and I would never go to all the events, but just the big ones, just to see what's out there, just to, grow my agent database. I feel, just for myself, to each his own.
Yeah, maybe one or
that it
two a
can be
month or something like
beneficial.
that. Yeah, absolutely. Because I got to tell you, it is such an amazing feeling. Pam, I'm sure you've experienced this. Candace, I'm sure you've experienced this. You call a realtor who you've done business with, or and you got the buyer and they got the listing, and you're like, Lee, I see you got that 3-bedroom townhome in Decatur. It's beautiful. How you been? Oh, Bill, it's awesome to see you. Well, my buyer wants that place. So what's it going to take? Just send me a $350 and no closing cost, and I'll see you at the closing table. Can't wait to have another slam dunk with you, my friend. Right? Boom. He knows the kind of worker I am. He knows I'm only working with well-qualified people. He knows it's going to be a cinch. Right? You only build that relationship by entering into those relationships and giving to them. Don't go in there guns a-blazing. Hey, want to join Keller Williams? Hey, want to join Keller Williams? That's not going to work. Go in there trying to figure out what problems they have in their business and seeing if you can offer a solution. And remember, there's only 2 problems a real estate agent's going to have. They either don't have enough leads or they have too many leads. That's it. That's it. And what I mean by too many leads is too many leads because their quality of life is getting threatened or their quality of service is getting threatened. If I take on any more leads, those are both going downhill. So they need to grow. And thank God Dave Jinks was a part of the process of writing the book on how to do that, right? All right, I feel like I'm babbling a little bit today. Anyone else have any thoughts?
On the Georgia Legacy, on the pivot shift ahead, there's a final post that Dave Jenks posted last night.
Yeah,
So you might want to go and read that. Wise words from a wise man.
yeah, very much so. All right, guys, thank you. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. I'm loving watching you grow as business owners, and I'm loving being a part of watching you grow even outside of real estate. And I'm very grateful for my team and Candace and all of you. So thank you.
Same, Bill. Thank you.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
have a great day.